What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning into the Bonus Point podcast and for the Ep 3 of Last Week in Rugby. Once again, I'm your host, Tj Olsen, and can't wait to get stuck into talking about the past week's rugby and everything that's happened and some big news over the weekend that I want to talk about as well, but we'll get to that soon. First off, I just want to thank our amazing sponsors. First off, Whalebird Kombucha. If you're looking for a great tasting beverage that is actually good for you, go try them out at your local Whole Foods, Air One, and other health food stores. Secondly, F45 Culver City. F45 isn't just a gym, it's a real community, and their team are all there to help you achieve your fitness goals with sessions in just 45 minutes. They're currently doing outdoor workouts to avoid health issues and kind of deal with this new quarantine process that has happened in California with everything kind of going back inside. So reach out to them, getting a great workout in these trying times. Lastly, the Bonus Point are proud to announce that we are partnering with the Rugby Index, who are the leaders in player tracking, market values, and team rosters for the MLR. Look out for a new episode coming out where we will share all the news about the MLR. So this week we had a pretty amazing week of rugby, a lot of close games, very exciting times. And this week, once again, we've got our brother Tj Olsen, aka Knovell Capote, joining us. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. How's things? What a week of rugby.
I know it's been insane. It's been really, really good stuff. But yeah, how you doing? I'm back on day 2 of my reset into carnivore dieting. How's your going?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Because we're on this together. The listeners won't know that we're doing this together. I'm just gonna honestly, it hurts your body. It really. I'm not gonna lie. I am struggling physically, but I feel amazing on the inside.
That's just because of the adaptation process. I think
of course.
That's the worst part. Is you got to power through. Like when I did the first month and a half trial, I got through about 3.5 weeks of it, and I was the same. I was on struggle street every day, trying to do workouts and trying to do everything. But once you get on the other side of it, it's amazing. It's so
yeah,
good.
I reckon. Yeah, man, definitely. You know, the funny part is, anyone that knows me knows that I don't eat, rarely eat bread, let alone white bread, and I just want to eat white bread at the moment. This is don't take it away from me. Do you know what has been hilarious though on the carnivore diet, right? Now, I understand my lifestyle choices, and I understand that I'm going to make some choices that don't fit into the carnivore diet, but I'm trying my best to make sure that those choices are as minimal as possible. I find myself looking at alcohol calorie content.
It's crazy, eh? I don't think I ever did that until a couple of years ago. I actually delved into it and saw, well, how many calories are in this beer, or what are the different nutritional aspects of everything? And then I'm the same. I'm sitting there. I was drinking a beer when I was going camping this weekend and looking at it, and looking at kind of the nutritional aspects of it, and I was like, it has this much or this much, and I was sitting there going, I had no idea.
Insane. Yeah, man. Even looking at the macros for them too. So I figured that my lifestyle choices now are I will be buying expensive gin and scotch and rum.
Yeah.
And having it on the rocks. I think that's going to be the safest way for me to keep my calorie content low without, screwing up the carnivore side of things. Because I know that. But to be fair, though, it fits in perfectly with socially what I want to do too. So.
What, trying to move out of drinking a bunch, or are you trying to
yeah. Not that I'm an alcoholic. I'm just saying that COVID-19 and then being kicked out of the country you live in to come back to the country you're from is kind of a disheartening on your mindset. So when you get bored, and people forget that I had to do 3.5 weeks of quarantine. So I can guarantee you with crappy internet, there's only one thing for me to do. Okay? And it's not like LA where I could go down to my green grocer, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's tough. Well, I'm glad it's kind of helping both of us kind of make smarter choices, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of roll on the other side. But as soon as you get back, me and you, Scotch on the rocks together, I'm down for it.
It's over. I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
It's going to be good. Well, let's get stuck in and let's talk about the rugby. So as usual, we'll talk about the Super Rugby Australia first, then we'll take a little break and we'll talk about Super Rugby Aotearoa after the break. But first game, Force versus Reds. Reds win this one, 31-24 against the Western Force. And obviously, I was backing the Western Force to win this game, and once again, they were the second 2 weeks in a row they scored the first points, and they were presenting a lot of attacking options in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to pull it out at the end. But Jono Lance, he wasn't swinging it side to side. A lot of their play was very flat. They kept hammering it against the Reds' defense. What did you think about the Force's play on the weekend?
Well, I mean, this goes off what we are talking about last week, really. Hey, the pace of Super Rugby is actually going to suit them. And I thought that they were doing a really good job. John O'Lance really controlled the game really, really well. And that flat style of playing really caught the backline off guard, I think. I did think they got used to it. I will say, though, the back three for the Reds really saved the day in that first half for the Reds. But yeah, look, not surprised. I honestly think that Western Force are definitely a force to be reckoned with. And we said, the first episode we had together coming into Super Rugby AU, we both agreed that they've got the prowess to get there. What I was surprised with, to be perfectly honest, is that the Western Force forward pack kept with the Reds for a good 50 minutes.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been pretty good as well as their second half insertions was we've talked about before, but the insertion of Greg Holmes and Andrew Reddy off the bench for them having a lot of experience, both former Reds players, and I don't think anybody thought Greg Holmes would ever play against the Reds, being one of, I think, the highest or most capped Reds player of all time, I believe he is. So,
yeah.
I love the way they were able to keep their starting forward pack was able to keep up with the Reds forward pack for the first 50 minutes at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think our good friend Tj Olsen was having a field day. He was definitely going out trying to prove himself. I think Western Force really put up a good fight, but in the end, it was just the class of the Reds 15 on the paddock. Just they stepped it up a notch, and I think they kind of looked Kiwi-esque, where that 58, 60-minute mark hit, and they were like, "All right, cool, we really got to destroy these guys." And again, and I'm going to keep saying this, the Reds front row is the best front row in Australian rugby right now. And you could tell as soon as they kept going down for those scrums, it didn't even matter when they had their replacements on. The scrum was just got decimated, man.
And you take them over the Brumbies
currently, from what I've seen from the Brumbies, yes. I think the front row for the Reds, more dynamic, more powerful, and they look legitimately more fit on the field.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think with who is it, James Slipper, and you've got Folau, who's an experienced hooker for the Brumbies, and Alatoa. They've all got great experience in that team. But you definitely are right. We spoke about it last week. Is Tupou is looking very, very dangerous, and he's looking very, very fit at the moment. But I think the best contest we saw was Wagner against Tupou in the scrums on the weekend.
Yeah, man.
Did you enjoy that contest?
I thought it was great. You could see come the scrums, he was definitely trying to get underneath and really cripple Tupou, which is, man, he's not a small human being.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in his way or try and scrummage his way out of a scrum.
So it was, and I think what they did was too. I think the forward pack for the Force focused big on their scrums because their scrums in the first half weren't bad. They really went toe to toe. But I mean, ultimately, it's an 80-minute game, and as soon as fatigue starts setting in, and as soon as the Reds up the pace just that little bit, you saw what happens. And this, I think, with the forward pack, man, the front rows in particular for Australian rugby, I think they've always sort of been behind the eight ball the last 15 years in regards to explosiveness and fitness, not gameplay, but they just can't last that little bit extra when they need to. And that's actually something funny though, is that the rapid rugby gameplay is they're used to playing 70 minutes. So it's not a full 80. So that is something. So yeah, and definitely, and I think what we're seeing in the Reds, and I think the conditioning coach and Brad Thorne out there, the Reds have really put in that work with that forward pack, and in particular the front row, and because I thoroughly impressed by them, man. I would love to see the Reds scrum pack against the Kiwi scrum. Any Kiwi scrum.
Let's hope we can see that really, really soon.
I know, right?
One guy that surprised me on the Western Force side was the US international player Braki, who was playing in the 13 jersey. His
Bro,
defense was pretty average on his defense, but his first attacking option threw a terrible pass. But after that, he was instrumental in setting up 2 tries really early. So what did
really
you think?
early.
What did you think of his play?
So clearly has some NFL background because you could see his lines were very. Well, I mean, American football, gridiron. I
Yeah,
don't know. What do you call that sport? It's that
I'd
sport,
assume gridiron. Yeah, something
gridiron.
like that. Yeah, but
His
yeah,
lines were
his lines
beautiful,
were
man.
yeah.
Beautiful. And very explosive too. Straight off the bat, you could see the pace.
He
I
kind of reminded
definitely
me of like Saquon Barkley-esque. Like he's able to
do.
change at really high pace and very, very effectively.
Very quickly. Do we? Because I don't know too much about him. Is he from a sevens USA sevens background or
I believe so. I could be. I believe he was in the US Sevens program. I'm not too sure because
right?
I only, to be honest, whenever Sevens are on, I'm always following the All Blacks. I'm rarely
That is fair, man. That
and
is so
and
fair.
and the only kind of people I know in the US team was Zach Test, who's not playing anymore, and Danny Barrett because I despise him. But those are the only people.
And
So
anyone that likes him is well, whatever. That's the touchy subject. But yeah, no. The only reason why I ask is because you could see sort of in his defense. Second, he didn't know what was he shooting, was he coming in, was he rolling with the line and sliding, and you usually would see that from sevens players who are sort of like they're not that indecision because now that it's 15, they
yeah,
don't know whether they have to take the ball because they know for sure that they're not going to go that one out. Do you know what I mean?
correct.
So,
Yeah.
but I was really impressed, man. I thought he had a great game. I did think again though at that 58-60 minute mark. Sorry. In the 28-30 minute mark,
Mm.
where his confidence was at an all-time high, and there was like a little play where, what's it? I always forget his name. I feel so bad. Paisami
Oh yeah, yep.
just did a little jank bump, and you just sort of, and you could see sort of just that confidence level come down, just
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he played really well.
I'm glad to see those types of players though get that kind of like different opportunities playing in different playing aspects. Like you've got a couple of
Dude,
South
yeah.
Africans playing in New Zealand teams. Like you've got what's the star winger for the Hurricanes at the moment?
Talia?
No, not the what's his name? I'll figure it out later. But we've got a guy. I think he played for the Stormers and he played for the Sharks, and he's now the star winger for the Hurricanes at the moment. And getting
the Hurricanes.
yeah. And then you've got guys like US players playing in the Western Force, so getting the opportunity to play in different types of playing environments, getting that experience, which is something that I think will hopefully come out on the other side well for them. But we'll talk about the Reds a little bit. So Dupo, I think he had a great game this week. A little less cheeky play, so he's playing.
You
His
mean
proper
less
rugby.
stupid?
Yeah. It's some really dominant play attack, and he put on a massive shot in the second half. So what did you think? Did you think that he still deserves to be qualified or classified as the top kind of prop in Australian rugby at the moment?
Hands down. If we're going to talk on talent on the field and brains on the field, yes. If we're going to talk physical athlete comparatively to the rest of the front row, yes. That guy, hands down, is the number one prop in the Australian in Australia right now. And knowing Dave Rennie and what he expects from his props, I guarantee you Dave Rennie is in love with him. You just got to, like, Dave Rennie was when he was at the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had what's his face? The Tongan prop.
Ben Tamifuna.
So yeah, Tamifuna.
Yeah.
Like he turned him into the
Beast.
145 kilogram beast. Do you know what I mean? Dave Rennie, this is what Dave Rennie's looking at. He wants, and like he's playing 100% the whole time. You don't see a decline in how he's playing right now.
That's true.
And I think that, and again, the Reds front row, I think, all play like this, which is really great to see. I mean, Musa, what's his name? Brendan, is it Brendan? No, Amar Musa, the hooker. I've completely heard it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
apologize. It's early in the
Yeah.
morning for me.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all hookers at the moment in Australia just aren't throwing well.
Oh,
But even
terrible.
he,
Bloody
but
terrible.
yeah, it is. It's embarrassing. But
Mm.
even he wasn't really a solid 50, 60-minute player, and he's killing it right now. Like, so
Mm.
yeah, I mean, the ball for me, no one is better than him right now in his position. No one. And I'd go a step further to say he'd be top 3 in the super franchise across between here and the Aotearoa competition. I'm
Is
thoroughly impressed by him.
I think, yeah, I think he's definitely, if someone wanted to make an argument, he's definitely a fringe for, um, I'd say, in my opinion, probably top five
Uh-huh.
across both competitions. I don't think anybody could disagree with that, because you are right. Even though he does do some stupid things like those charge down pushes that he did the week before, he still
Silly
makes
boy.
up for it in his incredible play. So yeah,
Yeah, man. He's a
James
game
O'Connor.
changer.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely is. If you take him out of the game and you put someone else in the game, it's a completely different scenario. But
Yep.
yeah, James O'Connor, we've spoken about him a couple of weeks, and I think that he had a great game this weekend. He, instead of trying to do too much or not enough, he made a lot of smart attacking decisions, muscled up in defence, and even whipped
He
out a
did.
beautiful 50-22 kick. So what did you think about how he played?
Look, man. We all know how I feel about James O'Connor.
Honesty comes out for Nudgy Boys. Here we come.
I know, right? Look, the, in his prime, the kid can play. What I'm seeing now is, and I can't believe I'm saying it, is we're seeing the makings of an older guy with natural talent making better choices. And in the fly half position, I really like him. I think the choices that the Wallabies have had previously in trying to hide their fly halves, and Brad Thorne's not trying to hide him. He's just keeping him in that 10 slot, both in defense.
Mm.
And then he'll only sort of drop when they know that they're going to kick. So they've got 2 attacking options at the back. I think his game on the weekend was amazing. I thought he played a little silly towards the end of the game, made some foolish kicks, but I also think that was just him trying to, sort of seal the deal, for one of the better word.
Yeah.
But bro, man, to see John O'Lines playing really flat and then seeing what O'Connor was doing, sort of running the play behind the line, and then he'd switch it up and then run it flat, and then he'd run it wide and he'd take those cut balls. Goes to show that this kid's really looking at what's being played in front of him and how to counter it and use the offense. Maybe not to, you're not trying to score every time, but he's definitely setting up 2-3 plays ahead and taking out those players. And you'll notice with the tries that they scored too, that they sort of were knocking out the second, third phase to, as their play, they're playing chess with them, and that's when those quick tries came, bang, bang, bang. Do you know what I mean?
To kind of manipulate it in their own way, to try to set up things. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
I thought he played great, man. Yeah, a lot better than Matt Tamora.
Oh,
That's your mate.
No, can we not on this show talk smack about State Boys? I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. And we're gonna have his sister and brother-in-law come on the show. So I don't want to say.
I love dearly. I love them dearly. We are all friends here. I'm just saying.
We're just being honest.
Yeah, truth hurts, man. Usher sung about it. Okay, far out.
All right, we'll move on before anything. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but Paisami and Dungunu. So we talked about Paisami the last couple of weeks. He's been playing really well in that 13 jersey, and Dungunu, he's been playing really well, very very evasive.
Can we agree that he was below average when he first signed to the Reds?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I didn't even know who he was as soon as he came on. But he's had a lot of good development these past couple of seasons. Yeah, and he's been playing really well.
He charged a kick down.
Yeah, that was anytime I see that happen in a game, and I've seen, I think, a charge down off a kick in every week of play, whether it's in Super Rugby AU or Aotearoa, I've seen one in one game at least every week. But do you see them getting a call up into the Wallaby squad?
Ooh. Paisami, yes.
Yeah.
Ngunu,
Still got a little bit more to go.
That's a tough one, man. I think here's the thing. If Dave Rennie does what Dave Rennie does best, that whole Wallaby backline is going to be overhauled because he needs to set up the next 2 years for the World Cup.
Yep.
That means then Ngunu gets in 110%.
Yep.
But if that happens, we're talking guys like Maddox gone. We're talking guys like what's his face with the long kick? Plays wing and fullback.
Banks.
Nah, he stays
For the Brumbies. No. Who else?
What's his name? The kicker. I really don't rate him at all.
From which team?
Waratahs. No, he's at He's at Rebels now.
No. Okay. Yeah. No, I can't think of it. But
he plays center. Like, yeah, there's a big overhaul. I also think Muirhead is the other winger too.
Yeah. So that's what I was looking at. Like, I was trying to sit there and go, like, I went to school with this kid. He's one of my mates. I'm trying not to be biased, but I was looking at his gameplay, and aside from a silly like offside call where he's just trying to make up for getting caught off guard, or he's been playing really well. So
explosive footy player. Here's the problem though that they're going to have. Like, you got Dan Ngunu has been playing really good attacking football, but we haven't seen, like, he's sort of been the dominant winger, whether it is physically or speed wise or just rugby intelligence, right? We haven't seen it. Like, I would love to see him against Corbidi just to see that physicality play out. I'd also like to see him sort of insert in the line a lot more and sort of play more an attacking option off set pieces.
Yeah, because he does. Yeah, he does like to stick out wide and just kind of bide his time and wait for the pill to come to him rather than kind of insert himself in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely think he's on the fringes, man. Like, you can't ignore it. He's gotten so much better. It's insane. Again, credit to Reds coaching staff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you gotta take Brad Thorne up. Like, he's Brad Thorne, so he's doing well.
The greatest football player of all time. I dare anyone to come at this smoke.
Okay. We might put that up for debate on the social media. We might put up a few kind of options and see who takes what. But that'll be a good debate for someone to go on social media.
No one wants this smoke. Let me just say that right now.
Well, if anybody doesn't know, Hulla likes to, I wouldn't say argue, but debate.
Passionately have a conversation.
Passionate is definitely the nicer way to put it. I definitely will put it that way.
Catch me sober.
Oh man, yeah, don't catch him on the grog. But okay, something I thought that's been really smart is something that we've seen, I believe, 2 weeks in a row is Liam Wright's defensive pressure on the goal line. So 2 weeks ago against the Warriors,
that was a try, bro. That was a try on the weekend, man.
I reckon too. So we'll explain for anybody who doesn't know. So two weeks ago, he was kind of skulking around the ruck, and it was on the goal line. And the law is that if the ball is on the goal line or behind in the try zone, although there is a ruck technically in the area, it's technically not a ruck. So they have rights to come around, not go through the gate and come through and just push the ball down. And if he's got downward pressure like you saw 2 weeks ago, he was able to get a try. So we had great vision again this week against the Force. Did the same thing, but wasn't able to steal that try. What do you think about the heads-up play by Wright?
Dude, man, it just goes to show how smart he is. Dude, you know who else did that? Richie McCaw. Okay?
Yeah,
you learn the rules back to front. When it comes game time, you're not second guessing whether you should or not. It's all action. That kid is going to be a future Wallabies captain and one of the greatest Lucy's Wallabies have ever produced. Hands down. I
call that too. The last couple of years, I honestly, I didn't necessarily not rate him. I just didn't really know too much about him. But you see the last couple of years coming up through the ranks, he's been killing it. He knows his stuff and he's been playing really well.
And he makes James Hooper look like a little bitch.
Wait, do you mean Michael Hooper?
Michael Hooper. Michael Hooper. Sorry, not James Hooper. See, I forgot his name. That's how highly I think of him.
That's he had a pretty average game besides a couple of turnovers on the weekend.
Ugh,
But,
yeah, silly Billy.
but
But yeah,
talking,
Liam Wright.
yeah,
Liam Wright, man.
he's a star in the making. I
I
do
think
agree with that.
what we're watching too is just his genius to really understand the play and what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And like seriously, it's Richie McCaw-esque. Do you know what I mean? He knows the rules and backs himself so much that he just makes the adjustment, makes the decision. And at the moment, he's coming out on tops more often than not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, let's see his development. Hopefully, we'll be able to see more of that smart play in the Super Rugby AU competition with the Reds. But let's move into talking about the Waratahs versus Brumbies. So this obviously a lot closer of a game with the Brumbies beating the Waratahs 24-23 in kind of the last couple of minutes. The Brumbies versus Waratahs has always been a fierce rivalry, and these teams do not like each other. Every time they play for the Dan Vickerman Cup, it's always they're going for blood. But the Brumbies were able to secure their 5th win in a row over the Tars. So what did you think about the matchup overall?
I honestly thought it was a boring game, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought the quality was very low. I didn't enjoy watching the game. It was a good slug out, I suppose. Like if I was to be really honest, it's like watching, just two, third grade club teams that hate each other go head to head. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just saying for the quality of players that was on that field, I expected a higher quality match. But
it was more like individual kind of great efforts, not a great two team battle.
Not at all. I mean, just quickly, you compare that to the Highlanders Chiefs game. Do you know what I mean? Where it was just like you're just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? I think look, we'll get onto that after the break.
I can't wait to talk about the Chiefs, and just be freaking so mad. But it was definitely it wasn't very very big of a game, although the score does say that it's a very close game.
It does. I honestly was just disappointed, man. You've got, I think there's like 13 current Wallabies playing on that field at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? That's the game that we get.
Yeah.
And regardless of what weather conditions are, it's just, especially at the moment where, New Zealand's looking at pulling from, Sansa, like the players need to start making some actions. And I believe the Reds and the Force are doing it. They're showing like, we can play this very good, high quality rugby as we saw from the first game. But I'm honestly just disappointed. I mean, props to the Brumbies for they grinded that out. They grinded that win out, which was, definitely. And everyone loves a good grind, but bump and grind. But yeah, man, I just thought that was my least favorite game on the weekend, and I was just disappointed in the quality of it given the players that were on the field.
Yeah, we spoke about it. It definitely was a grind game. For an example, like we spoke about Andy Muirhead's reinsertion of the game. He gets a yellow card for an offside call, and then made up for it immediately with a great turnover and amazing line break. It was definitely a game where the Brumbies had to fight back into it, but you'd see that they didn't have to. Is the coaching for both those teams not bad? They've got some great coaching up front, and I think it comes down to the player kind of either their development or just putting more effort into kind of just playing better rugby.
It was like, and I don't want to harp on.
Yeah.
But when you watch games like that, and you're sort of you're wanting to see what's the word I'm looking for? Like just effort.
Yeah. We'll say effort.
Yeah, and you've got guys like Rob Valentini, Pete Samuel, who are like 2 years ago were killing it.
Yeah.
And then the back, Brumbies have got Kurandrani, got Banks at the back, Tom Wright, who's quite an exciting winger. And then, like Carmichael in the back line there, Maddox at the back. And
who had a shocker of a game.
Dude.
Maddox he had a terrible game.
Dude.
I think dropping a ball in the goal line just sums it up. And if anybody wants to watch a terrible performance by someone who is kind of believed to be a very high-rated player.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like this, and this is exactly what we were talking about before in regards to like Dan Grunu coming in and Muirhead coming into the by some is like you need an overhaul because these guys who have had Wallaby caps, it's not like
there are people gunning for their jersey.
Dude,
who
exactly,
right
man. And like this isn't you're not David Havili who's actually really good at his job. It's just that there's guys like Bowden Barrett, and who wants to play 10, has to play 15 because Richie Mo'unga is playing 10. Do you know what I mean? Like this is like, dude, you should actually be miles ahead. I thought the Will Harrison versus Noah Lolosio was a good indication. Yeah, man, I enjoyed that. I thought two different style of 10s. I think Lolosio is miles ahead. I said it last week. I think he's the future 10 for the Wallabies.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, honestly, like, dude, like even just going like Scott Seal off the bench for the Brumbies, Isaac Fines. Do you know what I mean? Like these guys are great players. Do you know what I mean? And I just
need more effort from them. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
But I don't want to sound like a downer, but you know what I mean. Like
just being honest. But before we move on, shout out to David Havili. I heard yesterday that he's out for the season.
Dude, I know.
I think he battled all those kidney problems and he's out for I think a thumb. So he's gone for the rest of the season. So big loss for the Crusaders and
yeah, but your boy's smiling now though.
Oh man,
Willie?
he's got a lot of pressure. Will Jordan. Oh, he's going to be getting a lot of Polynesian nicknames. I think a big Willie Styles is definitely going to be one up there.
I hope it is. Can we contact him and say it's Big Willie Stars?
Big Willie Stars, yeah. We'll be like
getting jiggy with it.
Oh man, we should make a video or something. That would be awesome.
Fresh Prince of Christchurch. Man, we need to get a hold of the Crusaders and get a hold of this.
We have to, unless they're listening and they'll be like, okay, we just stole this idea. We got a perfect promotional tool.
Hey
right
man,
now.
I want. Can you imagine?
Want royalties for that.
We go on their Instagram and it's like dum 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 dum. Now this is a story all about. In Eastern Canterbury, born and raised in high school was where I spent most of my days.
This is going to be a good thing. We're gonna table this because this is going to be a good song for you to make for your new EP as a joke song, and you can basically do what Scribe did and just do an All Blacks theme song and just work it around all the players. So that'll be a good one.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Scribe, but that was a good song.
That was a good song. No, that was dope. But back to the Brumbies. So I found the front row matchup was very interesting in this game. So we spoke about it. They've got a lot of experience with the Brumbies. So you've got Theo, who had to come off the bench and play, I think, 75 minutes, which was solid.
Yeah, dude.
Alatoa and Folau. They've got a lot of experience, a lot of Wallabies caps. But on the Waratahs side, you've got an all Sydney Uni front row, a young dynamic like Horton, who scored a great try on his debut, I think. And he was the player of the match in the Shute Shield field last year against.
It was. Yeah,
so it was a good kind of matchup. What did you think about the different type of front row that we saw? The kind of matchup?
So what we saw was, especially when Seal came on, is explosive power versus technique. And look, going off how they looked, the Waratahs front row were definitely the smaller front row.
Yeah.
But I thought technique-wise, they were really good. What I did think, that was in set piece. I think in play, though, we saw, and this is where I'm getting at why I think Tupou is definitely the best in the country right now. We just saw hesitation from the Waratahs. They didn't know what line they were taking, and if they were doing the pick and drive, it was, I wouldn't say the wrong option, but there was a better option whether it was a one-off or, run that outside to cut in off the fringe. But on the Brumby side, they were just relying off their power and let's just put our head down and drive forward. When again,
which wasn't working too well for them.
At all. And there was always a better option. So this is what I mean is what we're seeing now is the development of like the Bows and the whole Reds front row, let's just call it, where they're in the middle of both of them. They've got great technique, they've got this explosiveness, but they're just smarter. So they're making smarter plays. And that's what, again, on paper, especially when Seal comes on, they should have decimated that scrum. They should have literally, there should have been penalties on penalties, just like the Reds get in the last couple of weeks. And there wasn't. And then off set piece, why aren't they running like Lolo Seal? He's very what's the word? Not vibrant, but his hand like time slows down when he grabs the ball. And McKellar's coaching, he loves that inside channel. He loves bringing the winger in. But why aren't we using that with this front row? Because they're not getting there. Do you know what I mean? They're so slow getting up to get to the next play. And you'll notice too, like what I did like about the Waratahs is they were running sort of to the play. They weren't running a J line. They were sort of going straight ahead, you know what I mean, to the next set. Whereas you watch these guys, they were quite slow. Look, not terribly so, but just comparatively to what you'd expect from a Wallaby front row.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's what I saw when I saw CO come on, and like obviously James Slipper, he's friggin' amazing. Like he's a great front rower.
Old.
He's old. He is old. But I looked at CO come on the field, and you've got an all fob front row, and then you've got an all Wallaby front row, and you look how many caps they've got collectively. They're all incredible players. So when you see that, you think this is going to be a one-sided battle. But it was they got destroyed in the scrums a couple of times, and this set piece just didn't work for them. But,
and props too. Was it Robertson, Horton, and Holmes? They did a great job. And also big ups to Rob Simmons and Hannigan for keeping that tight five nice and tight.
Yeah, we talk a lot of smack about Rob Simmons, but he played a great game, and he played very well defensively as well.
He did. I mean, he still looks like a giant spider when he runs, but he played really good. I can't just give him compliments, bro, because
you can't just go one.
I can't just say I know, right? James O'Connor, I can deal with that, right? He's proven himself. Rob Simmons,
this is just 1 week, yeah.
Let me back it up.
The thing that's been frustrating a lot of Australian teams lately is these offside calls, especially. So, and the penalties and the sin bin sessions are really piling up. So, do you think this is still confusion, or is this about the interpretation of the law, or is this just sloppiness? Because I thought Angus Gardner on the weekend, he was super clear and precise, and I don't say that about Angus Gardner very lightly. Like,
not many people do.
But yeah, so what do you think? Do you think it's just sloppiness, or do you think that they're just trying to?
Well, no. Look, if Liam Wright can do it, why can't these guys? Period. That's it. Learn the rules, understand them. If you don't know, ask the ref. But Angus was amazing on the weekend. Yeah,
and as I said, we don't say that very often.
No one does in World Rugby. Yeah, dude. I think compare that to, again, the counterparts across the ditch. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know there's some rules that are a bit different now with the Aussie comp and the Aotearoa comp, but offside's really simple, man. Just look where the ball is, look where your last man is, stay there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But having said that, props to halfbacks and people playing at the back off the ruck who are deliberately slowing it down to catch that offside. But again, like, if a number 6, who's the captain, can make a flash decision 2 weeks in a row, be right, then there's no reason why offside calls need to be racking up as much as they are. It's just laziness, man. And people call it, dude, man, people call it like, oh, he was just too eager, or I was like, no, you're lazy, man. Take a
Yeah.
deep breath, have a look,
Yeah.
and then shoot. Do you know? But that's just me though, because I think offside calls are great. I think it gives the gameplay more option to attack.
Yeah.
Because also being a former halfback, the amount of times you get crushed by offside dudes, do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't do like that just slows the game down. So as a fan,
I think that's where they put the rule in where you can't basically touch the halfback until ball is actually out. Has been really helping with the kind of continuity of the game, because there was a point in rugby where halfbacks were just getting laid out, and it was just terrible time. But
yeah. What do you think?
I think I think it is a little bit of over eagerness, but it's not in the case where I can argue for them. It's you've just got to time it. Where it's if you sit there, if you think you're going to need that extra run or you're going to be over eager, take another step. Like it's not that big of a deal, especially when the referee is turning around and saying we need a definitive gap and we need to show that gap. You can't just go, oh, okay, I'm just going to go for it and just hope for the best, because that's where all these penalty kicks are coming from. So
yeah, man. I think too, like from an athlete point of view, there's people that make their money by sprinting and listening to a gun go off, right? So athletically, if you need to cover that ground a bit more, then there's nothing like take that half a step back, work on your sprint to get over that 35 to 60 centimeters a lot faster. And cover that ground a lot faster. Do you know what I mean? Like there is no excuse for offside, okay, outside of pure laziness, man. Do you know what I mean? If you're really trying to shut down that play, get more explosive off the start. I mean, as coaches, we drill it into our players. Do you know what I mean? Like we specifically train them at every session, just working off that, a 1, 2, and 5 meter line to make sure that they're looking at the ball and they know when to sprint, not just hands are on the ball, so now we lift. Do you know what I mean? I think the offside thing, it annoys me when they get pinged. I think some penalties are harsh. Definitely.
I definitely agree with we're not sitting here and going every offside penalty that we see is going to be clear as day and then that's it, like you're an idiot. But there are definitely some that you just look at that you just go, come on, like you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
but
you're an idiot.
We'll move on and we'll talk about the Waratahs. So I think the Waratahs had a lot of pretty, I think, promising but quite average gameplay, but they did put some things together pretty well in the first half, but significant drop off in the second half where
dude.
You see Michael Hooper was strong defensively in the first 25 minutes. The scrum was killing the Brumbies. And they made a lot of decisions, but they just didn't want to close out. They just wanted to kind of just drag it on until the clock ran out, and that's what led to the score.
Yeah, exactly. The Waratahs are a classic case of get comfortable, don't try hard enough. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't even put together back-to-back sets of possession. I think they got to like 7 rucks and mauls, and then they'd kick it. What are you doing? Dude, man, do the hard yards. Like you're clearly beating them on those fringes either side, but then they just kick it away. And I didn't understand why you're doing that, especially to a back line that I think was performing a bit better, Brumbies, comparatively to.
Especially with Carmichael Hunt in that starting 12 jersey. He made a lot of great runs and he played very well.
Yeah, man. And like, he had that, is it Ire Simone dude? And man, he was, man, it was the veteran versus not the rookie, but like that OG that's been there for a minute. And he's just towing on the in, then towing on the out, then like running a cut line. You like just made him look silly, bro. And again, but the second half rolls around, it was like a different team, man.
Yeah.
I was shocked, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there and I was like, what is going on here?
Well, we spoke about the Lolosio Will Harrison matchup, and obviously Lolosio couldn't really get it going in the first half, and he was out really early with that hamstring injury, so he couldn't pull off his early magic to help out the team, and they had their sub. I can't remember his name. He played a pretty average game. So the standout number 10 for me in the game was Will Harrison. Aside from the miscatch off that high kick that in the goal line that led to a try, he had a pretty good game, especially his precision kicking off the tee. What did you think of him?
Yeah, well, he's only young, right? Like he's born. I don't know, man. It's embarrassing.
Well,
he was
him and Lolosio both played in the under 20s.
20s, yeah.
20s
Because
for Australia last year.
I'm pretty sure he's like not even 20, or maybe he just turned 20.
He definitely doesn't look like he's over 20.
No, dude looks like he's 16. Look, I think Will plays with a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like his decision making at times.
Yeah. No,
dude, especially when you got Carmichael at 12, man.
Yeah. He makes it like Carmichael makes it pretty easy for you, and he made a few bad decisions.
In that second half, all they needed to do, crash, quick ball. But look, man. Little too much. But he's 20, bro. So you're not gonna we're not gonna
write him off.
Write him off, bro. I think also plays behind the play a little too far for my liking.
A bit too deep when he's trying to kind of play that layered attack.
Yeah. But that could be because he's only just come into the Waratahs, right? He's done a whole preseason, but
I think he was in the squad, but I don't think he got too much starting time.
Yeah. I mean, I think Carmichael definitely played his position well, given what happened. Having Will there, it's hard to say, man. Like, I haven't seen anything from him that makes me remember him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Comparatively to, like, dude, for me to say that I remember how good O'Connor plays, or how bad Samoa plays, or how Lolosio is the future of Australian rugby. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen anything that makes me go, okay, great, man. This guy's switched on, smart. Does have a boot on him, though.
Yeah, it was. That's. I think he missed one kick out of, I believe, 4 or 5 on the weekend.
Yeah, man.
It was incredible.
Yeah, I was like, damn, boy.
All right. So if he can get his kind of set piece and his kind of phase play to work in his favor, or just develop for him, I think he's definitely got a chance to eventually make a Wallabies team if he kind of goes on this track.
I think also if he just chucks on a bit of size, man, you could see a little bit of hesitation when they were playing close to the ruck, that he was definitely trying to either stand wider or, like I said earlier, quite deep, just so he wouldn't be getting knocked. I don't like that, man. I like a 10 that's just like, let's do this. Like, you're in a position where, like, you're being gunned at, so, play accordingly. Yeah.
No, fair enough. Okay, well, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll talk about the Super Rugby Aotearoa competition. Lots to talk about. Obviously, some painful stuff for us.
Warning: we both could be crying at a certain point.
I think it's definite for me, but we'll see how we go. All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. So the Hurricanes and the Blues game is the first game we're going to talk about for the Super Rugby Aotearoa competition. Another close game with this competition, with the Hurricanes beating the Blues 29-27, and another late turnaround for that team. So it was pretty tough. But we'll talk about the Blues first. So on the weekend, we saw the long-awaited return of Beauden Barrett to Wellington, and instead of wearing his traditional yellow and black jersey, he was in an Auckland Blues jersey, and he copped a few big boos during that game, especially when he was taking those kicks. So what did you think about the return of Beauden Barrett to Wellington?
Oh, look, he knew what was coming his way, didn't he? I thought it was great. I mean, hearty supporters down there in Wellington, and that's their star boy. That's their their Luke Skywalker. He's the one that brings home the bacon. So, man, I laughed at it. You saw a little smile he had when he came out on the field. He knew what he was going into. I thought it was great.
A lot of people compare it to like LeBron leaving to go play for the Miami Heat. Everyone just sits there, and I was like, why? No.
Yeah. That is and you know what? That is a great sort of analogy or comparison, because you got to think what he has done for that team. is insane. Do you know what I mean? So look, man, you know what though? I was going for the Blues. I hoped, and I mean, with 2 minutes to go, I was definitely confident. But he knew what he was doing, man. And okay. So after we spoke about the Waratahs Brumbies game, this is like, and then we watched this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
two teams at 100% going back to like boom, boom. It's like watching a tennis match. Do you know what I mean? It was beautiful rugby, bro.
It was really good. But the one thing that I'm it's frustrating a little bit now is once again this week Plummer has been in the starting number 12 jersey and TJ Faiani is on the bench, and this is a decision that's really confusing me, like legitimately. It isn't just because TJ and I share a name. I'm not being biased here, but defensively TJ brings so much more to the table. And the first 2-3 games of this competition, I can't even count on how many tackles TJ made. But in this game, I can't count on my hands how many tackles Plummer missed or were just woeful. And TJ offensively bends the line or breaks the line majority of the time. He runs the ball and he really sucks in attackers, where Plummer's attack is very lackluster. And there was a great example where Harry Plummer had to do a run through for kind of just to bend the defensive line a little bit or suck in the defensive pressure and look like a threat. But he ran a terrible line, stopped right in the middle of the defensive line, created an obstruction, and Akira had to run around him. So I'm trying to figure out, do you think this is Leon McDonald using TJ as a closer in the second half, or do you think that he thinks Plummer is better in the number 12 jersey? Because I just don't see it.
Or is it he's trying to play a 12 that he thinks could let Ioane run wild?
I could probably see that. It's something where I don't really see the pros and cons.
I mean, I don't see it. I'm just saying from like a Leon like.
Yeah, that's a definite possibility because like when you look at it, that's definitely something where Ioane does have that kind of that advantage to kind of roam free and play his game. But when you look at the pros and cons list, when you've got TJ and Rico playing comparatively to Plummer, it's ridiculous. I just don't see why.
And Laumape probably had the best game he's had all season. And what you saw was an All Black versus like, should this guy be playing Super Rugby?
Yeah, well, because when it comes to Plummer, he's a great minor 10 cup player. I'm never going to turn around and say he's not, because you look at what he did for the Auckland team when they won that minor 10 cup championship. He was a great piece in that kind of puzzle. But when it comes to this Blues choice, I just don't see the benefit. I see him coming off the bench. He's a great bench player if he can kind of be slot into either that 10 or 12 position if someone goes down, in my opinion. But yeah, I just don't. TJ
so
just brings so much more.
So you'd prefer to start TJ?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'd have TJ and then Dan Carter come off the bench, to be honest. But I don't think you could. That.
We could play at 12 and have Dan Carter come off the bench, and you wouldn't be worried. Do you know what I mean? It's Dan bloody Carter.
Yeah.
Look, man, I don't know. I don't. I agree with you, but at the same time, mate, I don't know. That's a tough one, bro. I think too, TJ and Rico play very similar. No, not even similar. Maybe their games just don't sit well together when they've got Oteri Black at 10.
Well, let's talk about that one as well. So with Oteri Black at 10, a lot of people are saying that where they obviously saw he went off a little bit early for, I think it was an HIA or something like that, where he got looked at. And he's been playing great form at 10, and then everybody's saying, why not put Bowden in at 10? You saw on the weekend, even though Bowden did well in the 10 jersey, Oteri Black is doing a lot better, in my opinion, at the number 10 jersey.
Bro, infinitely better.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I want Beauden Barrett at the back because you watch what Beauden Barrett at the back, he stops plays from being made.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? They're attacking teams are like, do we want to kick it to Beauden Barrett?
Yeah.
Especially when you got Clark on one wing. Like, do we want that? And Talia on the other. It's like, do we want to give like potentially the All Black back three time?
Even with Clark out this weekend, where you had a Narawa on one wing and you had Talia on the other wing, still that back three is still dangerous.
But that's what I mean though. But like that's what like. But regardless who's on the wing, it's Barrett at 15. That's the problem. Like he is infinitely better at the back, sniping. Like that his try.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that dude, that's just him roaming. And you see defense patterns are like, shit. Like where are we, like, do we cover the 9, 10, 10, 12, 12, 13 channel? Or do we just like slide defense because he's going to come wide? And even then, if he goes wide, he's got the pace to beat pretty much everyone. So yeah, I think Terry Black at 10 is the best fit. And he's been, dude, man, him and Cruden have been the form 10s, bro.
Yeah.
On consistency. Because last week, Richie Mo'unga's second half was ridiculous.
Incredible. Yeah. We spoke about it, how when Richie Mo'unga turns on the gas, he never lets it off. But it's something where
best in the world.
Yeah, consistent. Yeah, I'd definitely say Cruden and Oteri Black, definitely up there.
Dude, man, do you know what I love about Oteri Black at 10, bro? Is his way where he's just sort of, you can see he catches the ball and he still doesn't know what he's going to do and makes the play. Do you know what I mean? Like that dude, that's that Dan Carter. That's the Dan Carter effect, bro. Yep. Slow down, bro. You know, like we're just going to slow it down. Slow it down.
But I think when we talk about Beauden Barrett, you talk about how kind of effective he is in that fullback position. He definitely does his job very well, especially with his field position, with his kicking. But one, I think
could have kicked the goal better though. Let's not.
Yeah, I'm not his goal kicking has been quite atrocious the last couple of years, but that's a whole nother topic to go over. But I think a lot of people, including myself, even though Laumapi has got gas, I never thought I would ever see him outrun Beauden Barrett. Man.
If you ever want to see what it looks like a house to sprint, you need to look up. He did not only just gas them, he like it was like the Roadrunner versus Coyote. He just literally dude. This is me.
This is the one thing though, is as soon as Laumapi got in front of Beauden Barrett in the first few minutes, that first interaction, Beauden Barrett looked like a deer caught in headlights. And poor Oteri Black, when Laumapi gassed around Beauden Barrett and went for the try line, he caught the brunt of it because he just bowled over him. But Laumapi, his defense was immaculate. Every time he ran the ball, he was going through the defensive line. He even showed that he has incredible pace, as well as power.
Yep. But it's about time. It's about time, though. It's about time. I mean, he hasn't been playing the best. And, this is the Laumapi that, dude, man, I love, bro. Like, from watching him coming from NRL to crossover, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the guy, man. This is the guy that just kills people for a living. And, like, I think, too, what we saw with that try in particular, if it wasn't Beauden Barrett, may not have been, oh my gosh. But to see Beauden Barrett, it wasn't that he outpaced him. It's that, like, possibly the best fullback in the game right now got outread. He misread the situation. It's a one-on-one situation. Why wasn't he pushing on that inside channel, right? Because obviously he knows Laumapi is super fast. So he's tried to cut off that outside. He's done the little jink in, back out again. And Beauden Barrett, he knew. He was like, man, this is done. I'm done here. And, yeah, man.
So do you think he's making a case for himself for that number 12 jersey for the All Blacks?
Has to, bro, because he has not been playing that good this whole season. And even towards middle of last season to the end, he wasn't playing that good, man.
Yeah.
And, he was losing his spot pretty much. He was coming off the bench for the ABs. I think, it's the changing of the guy too. He understands that he's going to be in prime, a prime candidate for the World Cup, given his age, his stature. So if he can just put together these sorts of games, I definitely think he'll go into and that's not taking anything out from any of the other centers. I just think in regards to what a little dynamo, quite reminiscent of Sam Tutapol from the Blues back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Just a 12 that just had the speed, had the pace, had the rugby intelligence and the defensive prowess to be the chiropractor.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting, man. He played great, man, and that was he deserved to have a good game too, man, because I feel he's been overlooked a lot, man, since his debut for the ABs.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I really like bro, mentality, bro. Mentality changes games, man. And after he did that, it was quite early in the game. He was on point, man. And that your least favorite number 12 in the Blues jersey was getting pumped.
Yeah, he was getting shown what's what, and I think with him having some experience in having a couple of caps with the ABs, and he does have those kind of dynamite games and dynamite performances. I do think he's going to make a good case for that number 12 jersey, but we'll see. It's Jack Goodhue he's not really playing at exceptional form, but he's still playing really good rugby, and I don't know whether Ian Fozzie's going to go, okay, I'd rather take experience over kind of explosiveness, but we'll see.
I suppose it depends who they play at 10 as well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because, bro, a Teddy Black at 10 and La Mape at 12, you're one out at 13.
That would be pretty interesting. I'd take that, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, look, and again, we're not harping on about the quality in Australia, but that could be like the fourth 15 for the All Blacks and still beat the Wallabies. Shots fired.
So we obviously know the All Blacks have got depth, but one thing I think the Hurricanes had over the Blues was better depth in their bench. Although you've got guys like Marcel Renata and Jonathan Ruru who are strong subs for the Blues, having players like Dane Coles being replaced by Asafo Almua or someone coming off the game for Via Fivita, I think is a bit more effective than Matt Duffy coming on.
Yeah, man.
For Bowden Barrett.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
So do you agree with that? Like it was definitely the depth in their bench that put them over the top? Yeah.
Hands down. I will say, though, I also feel as though the Blues could have locked out that game but started making silly errors.
Yeah.
I mean, that 2 points isn't reflective of either side because either side could have won that for sure. I just think perhaps the Hurricanes' execution could have been definitely a little tighter and that score could have blown out.
There was definitely times when I saw the Hurricanes and it was like they could put this game away easily, but it's just
it was reminiscent of when they when they played the Chiefs in that Super Rugby final a few years ago, and it was just like, do you know? And it was just like they just went got better. So then by 65 minutes, you're like, man, untouchable. Do you know what I mean? But, it was just one of those games, too, where the green of the ball wasn't going your way in one moment. Then the next moment, the bounce comes your way. So, great game, though. Thoroughly enjoyed this game.
Immaculate game. But here's a game that we won't want to talk about. One where I felt like I was robbed, but I understood why this happened, where the Highlanders won over the Chiefs 33-31. It's very painful to talk about, and you could see on Sam Cane's face where as much as it pains me to say this, the Chiefs aren't going to win this year's Super Rugby Aotearoa competition, and what's even worse is they may end up coming last. And hold on. No, by the okay, cool. If they win a cut, dude, they're not winning, bro. Yeah, but it's like if there's a few teams that take a couple of L's, they may come second last. But I'd never thought I'd put Chiefs last same sentence. But that's where Super Rugby Aotearoa, you've got 5 quality sides. One has to be at the bottom. But I think they finally put up a performance this week where they deserved the win, and they were looking like the quality side that we knew they were. So
100% starts at Weber, bro. His
Yeah.
delivery got faster. He was sniping at the ruck. And, like, we spoke about this, why we didn't think he was in a position to be in All Blacks frame for 9. Dude, you play like that? Are you kidding? You notice the difference. That's try he scored. That's because he kept passing. And if you watch the replay, you can see that the fringe players, they're looking to shoot to the first receiver, and it opened up like when Moses parted the sea. It was. Do you know what I mean? It was beautiful, man. Catches a meat pie in a gap bigger than, I don't know, some buck-tooth bandit's missing tooth. Do you know what I mean? It was. But that's what I mean. He dominated that game for the Chiefs that had them, and you're right. They did deserve to win that game, man. Their gameplay was beautiful, bro, and they came out with the intent to score tries, bro. They weren't messing about on the weekend.
Well, it was very reminiscent of how the Force played. So a lot of their attack was very precise and it was very flat, and they put a lot of the Highlanders' defense under a lot of pressure. And their defense for the majority of the game, they were very solid. So why didn't they close out the second half? What happened?
Look, I think in the first half, what we saw is the forward pack actually being dominant for once. I think we saw Mackenzie coming off the sort of he wasn't in first receiver as much as like in positional play. He was sort of that little bit wider, which was opening up those inside channels, and the Highlanders were just being exploited off the fringe. Because, I mean, you had ALB scored that beautiful try off the Mackenzie inside ball, but they had the dummy run. They had the second dummy runner there. So the Highlanders, they were just getting outplayed because the forward pack was so dominant at the broken play, at the ruck, that they didn't know how to counter that in slide defense. And then on top of that, you got the Highlanders, like, I think they were down, 24-0 after like 30. Yeah. And because the forward pack was just completely dominating them.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, though, I think they let themselves down when the Highlanders put together those phases and they crossed over for a very easy try. I actually think it was Weber that was the tackler and the old mate on the wing with the dreads, which was it was a soft try, man. Like very soft.
Speaking of Weber, though, what did you think about the little crack on between him and Smith on the weekend? It was like two featherweights about to go battling each other.
Dude, tell me Aaron Smith played better than him, and I'll call you a liar.
I'm not going to say that, but
no. And I love Aaron Smith, and I don't think we've been quite critical of old Brady Weber, but he played amazing, man. He played out of his skin. I think what happened though in that second half is Smith came into play.
He definitely did. Yeah, that second half he came out, and I think he set up in these. I think he's the biggest. Has the most try assists in the whole Super Rugby Aotearoa competition. And obviously...
No way. I did not know that.
Obviously, like, being a halfback, it's pretty easy to do in some retrospect. But considering how much he inserts himself into that game and he sets up a lot of those plays and a lot of those drives, yeah, he's... I read that yesterday. He's the leading try assist-er. So he played very well in that game. So he had a very good performance in that second half. But yeah, first half pretty lackluster. It was Brad Weber was
pretty average. I mean that was it the try where Mackenzie's kicked it. He kicked it and they just ran through that middle defense for the Chiefs. Yeah. And then Aaron Smith's there, catches the ball, passes, and then gets the ball back.
Yeah.
I mean, that defense just went to Shizer-town. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know what happened? ALB happened. This is why Anton Leonard-Brown cannot possibly be in All Black contention to start at least, because that dude has a first half of doom and a second half of doom.
Well, one's a good doom, one's a bad doom. So that's what I was thinking. It was a consolation. Was the first half he was looking like his old self. He had some amazing, great defensive stops. Plus, he finally started to kind of penetrate, bend the line with his attack. And you saw this try on the weekend. When he puts himself in those positions, in those places to score, he gets over the line every time. But yeah, it was the second half was pretty woeful, to be honest.
I'm also going to have a go at Mr. Gatland here. Too many changes off the bench way too early. He's gone and made a change with like 10 to 15 to go and pretty much replaced the whole back line. And we lose it in the last 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, you idiot, bro? You don't need like what was the score? 31.
It was
31,
33-31, and it was
but it was
31-17.
Yeah, with like 10 to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't Welsh rugby, bro, where, you know, the dominant team plays it out. You know, you're playing against teams that are of equal value that can put, like, they're all Blacks here. There's not one Super Rugby Aotearoa team that don't have players that can change the momentum of a game in 10 minutes.
So we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and I think those choices, yes, they are a bit questionable, and I think that you probably could leave some players in a little bit longer. But I don't know if it is a coaching issue, me personally. I think it's a commitment issue to close out games. But are you saying that kind of the majority of their problem, you'd say it's the coaching?
I definitely think he chose the best starting 15.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think of that starting 15 in the second half, Damien McKenzie and ALB started playing real crap.
Mm-hmm.
He was forced to make some changes. I think that is a reflection of the lack of commitment the players have to the coach. So he's been forced to make a decision. But ultimately, that comes back down to him. And I think we discussed this too, where he's come into a system that works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's trying to change that system, and the players, I'm not saying they're not responding, but they don't understand it.
Okay.
And that's a reflection of what happened in that last 10, 12 minutes. Because the players that they brought on, no diss to them, but they're not closers, man. And you're not 50 points ahead. You're 2 tries away.
Okay, well, let's talk about closers, because this is the last question I want to talk about. Is one question I ask: why isn't Cruden starting? I don't get it. I'm not going to say Trask has had a bad game, because I think he made some pretty solid decisions with his playmaking. But at the end of the day, Cruden brings an element that Trask doesn't. Why isn't he starting? Can you answer this question?
No, I cannot. And as a Cruden fanboy, I'm trying to not be too emotional here and disrespectful to the coaching staff at the Waikato Chiefs, the team I have supported since I was a wee boy. Look, who knows? Is age playing a factor? Like, I don't know.
It could be. Like, to be honest, I could be looking into it, because I'm a big fanboy of Cruden as well, and it's something where I look at it and he just brings a whole different kind of element to the game.
He can pass a ball straight over 40 meters. Like, that's a fly half that does that and has a football on a string. Dude, you don't need an inside center or an outside center. You just need a winger that can catch a ball and a fullback that can run a line. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how good he is. And like, I get he's in his twilight years, but he's playing amazing rugby.
He's playing phenomenal. Like, it could. I think the only kind of explanation could be that age is a factor, and they don't. Because I didn't. Did you see him go in that game? Because I don't think I saw him go in. So to not even give him a crack.
There's no injury report.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So, and obviously, in the kind of work that we're in at the moment, looking at covering rugby, we would know if there is an injury, because he's one of our favorite players. So
yes, like if by any chance some Chiefs rugby shorts from Cruden ended up in my lap, you don't want to know what I'd do.
Oh my God. All right, before everybody starts running away, let's talk about the Highlanders. And At no stage did the Highlanders lead in this contest, and right at the buzzer, everything came crashing down for the Chiefs because the Highlanders
as well.
They willed them back into the game. So what did you think about their performance over the weekend?
Great tenacity, man. Highlanders are known for their tenacity too. That's like something that they've always had, and they stayed within the game. And they don't deserve to win, but they pulled it out to secure that win, and you can't hate just staying within the fringes. I will say though that they what they lack in attacking prowess from the set piece, they make up in just some ridiculous broken play moments. Do you know what I mean?
You see it with Aaron Smith alone. Like when he comes off the overthrow, I can't remember who he's playing, but comes off a line out, he creates something out of nothing where most people would get an overthrow, dive on it, set up next phases. He blows through 5 people and he ends up setting up a try. So it's something where
I'm pretty sure he's a wizard and he's freezing people on the field so he can make those little chinks. That's my theory, and I'm sticking by it.
All right, we'll put that up for debate, and we'll see how many people agree with you. I assume it's going to be 0%. But yeah, but a lot of people may debate about the quality of coaching for the Highlanders. But I think Aaron Major, he deserves a lot of praise. When you look at the squad that he has to deal with, he's been able to weave some magic into the team. Like you do have players like Dixon, Coltman, Frizzell, and Smith who have a lot of experience and provide a lot of great leadership to the team. But comparatively to a lot of other teams, they're a very young side with little to no depth. I don't think I could find anyone at the start of the year that said Mitch Hunt or Putty Parkinson are stars who are going to help carry this team. So,
I mean, the notion that a great team beats a team of great players, that's what we're seeing right now. But, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Highlanders, but you can definitely tell they know that their weaknesses are at set pieces, and they've really worked on attacking in broken play because it's not luck that they do that every game that we've watched this season. They've actually been the better team in broken play. I just think that's the coaching prowess of Aaron Major going, all right, cool. Well, we're going to be playing more agile, bigger, maybe even better players, but we're going to be the best attacking team in broken play. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but I think. I
think you're right with that. I definitely think that they're utilizing kind of what they know to be their strengths, and they're going away from their weaknesses. So it's like something where my kind of one of my coaching mentors. George Simpkin, who was coaching for the mighty Matamata Rugby Club, he would always say, look at who you've got to play. Don't try and get a club rugby team to play like the Chiefs, because that's not how rugby works. You have your A players, your B players, your C players, and your D players. You evaluate who is in your team, and then you work a game plan around that. And I think you're 100% right. They're utilizing what they can do very well, and they're trying to cover their bases on the things they can't do. So, yes.
Yeah, man, definitely. Because, I mean, you watched that game in particular, the Chiefs forwards, when it came to the rucks and mauls, the mauls especially, man.
Crazy.
They were getting decimated. Like, it wasn't even close, man. And the lineouts, dude, I was just like, yo, man, at one point, I genuinely thought we were going to put 50, 60 points on them.
Yeah, it was
genuinely. And I could handle them scoring a try at the end of the first half, and I was like, man, we about to come out, we about to finna just blow them up. And
that's what I thought was going to happen too. Yeah, dude, that's what I thought.
Do you know how hard it was not to text you? I was like, I felt like saying, this is it. We're gonna see it. We're gonna be having a great conversation next week.
Oh yeah.
Alas, that was not the case.
Well, there's always this week, but we'll see.
Let us know.
Hey, I'm gonna be optimistic. You know me. It's always how it goes. But we'll see. We'll see. But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Highlanders they pulled that one out of their ass. It's something where they could definitely. I don't know. I can't talk about it anymore because it's just going to pain me for the rest of my life.
Man, but I think that is the best thing about rugby, though, is just that all it took was 12 minutes of consistent rugby.
Yeah,
And
no,
it won them the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But it's called the bonus point for a reason. And this week we have a great and insightful bonus point segment. And the biggest news to come out of Super Rugby in New Zealand is they are looking to say goodbye to South Africa and Argentina. And looking to implement, and even better, looking to implement Pacific Islands into the competition. So
hallelujah!
So this is something I believe should have happened years ago. And I understand the argument that this was working to build up the rugby championship. Obviously, these were teams they were playing against in the biggest kind of international rugby competition in kind of, aside from the Six Nations. I'd probably say the Six Nations is probably a lot more popular and has a lot more backing by a lot of people. But they developed a plan for Sanzar to kind of implement a Pacific Rugby team into Super Rugby. And then Sanzar said, nope, we're going to go with Japan. And
that worked, didn't it?
Yeah. Although the Sunwolves do have their faults, they did pretty well with kind of what they did. They had packed out crowds every time, but it just didn't work in our competition in Super Rugby. So
no.
Yeah. What do you think?
Dude, man, here's the thing, right? Let's be real right now. 42% of the players playing in Australian or New Zealand rugby teams are from a Pacific Islander background. Okay? Of those 42%, most of them are playing or are in the squad for the national teams of Australia and New Zealand. Okay?
Yeah.
Those are facts, okay? They're undisputed facts. Now, we can argue that, okay, cool, well, they learned their rugby in Australia or New Zealand regardless of where they were born. But it's the support system. It's the support network. It's the dad and the mom and the brother and the auntie and the cousin that get them to training sessions, that buy them the boots, that give them all the facilities available to become the best players in your favorite All Blacks and Wallabies. Mm-hmm. What Sanzar are doing right now is they've realized and understood that the game has outgrown them, and now they're trying to find some sort of way. I just read this morning that they're trying to look at a Fijian, Japanese, Australian, Argentinian
I saw
tournament.
I saw that this morning too.
It doesn't make sense financially. You're talking about trying to fly. It was hard enough with a top-tier team in a different time zone. Now you want to add 2 other Tier 2 teams, although technically Japan are a Tier 1 team, I think still. They may have dropped. In 4 different time zones. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is, technically 3. I don't get it.
We'll call it 3.5.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. What's the point of having a Fijian team as opposed to a actual South Pacific Islander team, right? We're seeing right now in New Zealand rugby how much rugby has gotten better in a 12-week off period comparatively to Australia. Rugby Australia is not going to get any better. Argentina could probably, they could do with this. But again, the amount of travel involved for this, and you're trying to convince me that you're going to send a team from the South Pacific funded over to South America? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
You look at Samoa and how or other teams like the Cook Islands who have had funding issues or funding problems every time they go to the World Cup.
Dude, and this is what I mean. And so, I don't think people understand though is the reason why these Tier 2 teams from the South Pacific don't get games is because if you host a game, you have to pay for everything. Mm-hmm. The IRB don't pay for it, right? So now, in introducing what New Zealand are doing, in introducing a Southern Pacific tournament that's based in South Pacifica, where the money generated can be distributed evenly amongst these second-tier countries, you're going to see a growth in investment in South Pacific rugby. Now, obviously, we're going to have make sure that there's people in play to make sure that money doesn't go missing, like has happened in Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa. But this is a step in the right direction. Sanzar is now just sitting. They're panicking. They're trying to create something out of nothing, and it's gonna cost them out the ass. And let's be honest, Sanzar is primarily going to get its funding from Rugby Australia, and they don't have a dime to take a shit on right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But you were
I'm
talking
very
about
passionate about this.
Oh, really? I can't tell with you being a fellow Pacific Islander. I don't know that. But I agree with you. I do believe it's an opportunity to help grow a lot of Pacific Island economy. So you look at how popular Fiji is now with the boost of tourism and how it's helped stimulate their economy. Adding rugby matches to places like Tonga, Samoa, places like that, you'll see it be able to grow and watch the quality of rugby games excel as well. While you're implementing money and funds and resources into grassroots rugby into those communities. You see how many popular athletes come into the All Black system and other areas where a lot of people argue, why don't they go play for teams in their designated country? New Zealand is pretty much the only people that have been giving Pacific Islands, aside from Australia and other teams that do provide some Pacific Island players opportunities. But New Zealand gives people from Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, those countries an opportunity to play high caliber rugby, where the other countries they don't provide that opportunity. This will give them an opportunity to do this, in my opinion.
I totally agree. And I think one step further than that too, I think the eligibility rules will start to ease a little bit, which needs to happen in order for, just like that happened in the Rugby League World Cup with the Tongan team. I think if we can introduce this and this South Pacific team, and they're going to be based out of South Auckland, which everyone knows is poly central. There's more Polynesians in South Auckland than there is in all Pacifica put together.
If anybody saw in the World Cup in 2011, they saw that it was basically, if you went to any game, it was Samoans and Tongans, all their flags everywhere, and it could have been some All Blacks fans, but you had some proud Islander people. Like when I went to go visit my mate out in South Auckland during because we went and watched the opener game, it was insane. The amount of passion there, it's incredible. Yeah,
that's what I mean. This is going to push South Pacifica rugby through the roof, but only if the right governing bodies take care of this and it moves forward, like in the correct manner, and it's evenly distributed.
So I think we've got an agreement. I really hope this does kind of come to pass, where it does happen. But now we're going to do our weekly bet, and this week I've got the right teams in front of us, so there'll be no confusion.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Nah, all good. It's very early in Australia when we record these episodes, but we'll go Super Rugby AU first. So on Friday, we've got the Waratahs playing the Rebels. Yep. Who are you backing in this one?
I'm going Rebels on this one.
Okay. All right. I think I will probably go. I think I might go the Rebels as well. I definitely think we've been pretty critical on Matt Timur the last few weeks, but I think the Rebels definitely have a lot more potential to take this one out than the Waratahs.
Totally agree.
So we'll see how we go. The second game in the Super Rugby AU competition is going to be the Force v the Brumbies. So this is probably my optimum game that I want to watch in the Super Rugby AU competition. Who are you backing on this one?
My heart says Western Force. My head says Brumbies.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to back the Force on this one. Even though
he's done it! Yeah, cool. I'll stay with Brumbies. Yeah, I'll stay with Brumbies.
Okay, so big sadness and sorries to my boy Andy Muirhead. You've been killing it these last few games, and I want to back the Brumbies so bad, but I think that the Force have got enough steam ahead, and they've had two close calls, so close with it. I think they can pull it out this week. So,
dude, I think Jono Lance gets on the front foot. Definitely Force get through.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be backing that somehow. The lackluster forwards game that I saw last week for the Brumbies, they're going to turn it around and just smash and dash the.
We spoke about it. Like, you've got Pete Samu at the back. You've got a quality front row. There's no reason why they couldn't pull it out as long as the back line stays in check, and I think they can. Yep. But yeah, I'm backing the Force on this one. I'm gonna see how it goes.
My man.
And we've got two quality games on the weekend. We've got the Crusaders playing the Hurricanes. So who have you got for this one?
You know what? I'm going to jump onto this one. I honestly think Canes are going to grab this one.
Oh, you're doing it. Okay, all right.
I'm going Canes against the Crusaders in Crusader territory.
Oh man. Okay, all right. Well, that's a big call. I'm 100% backing the Crusaders on this one. I can't not go against them. I mean, if you've got, I know David Havili's out, and you've got a bit of
look, this is
you got a bit of a question mark with you got a bit of a question mark, but with Richie Moore, but still, like,
I know that's what and I love Richie Morgan, and I'm like, man, it's not good to bet against your homies, man.
Oh, man. And then the last game is obviously pretty close to our heart. It's the Battle of the Bombays.
Man, I stand by what I said last week. I'm going Blues on that one.
You going Blues?
I'm going Blues, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Right.
See? I know it's so hard. Here's the thing. It's a win-win situation for me. If Chiefs win, I win. If the Blues win, I win.
I'm doing burpees. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Who you got?
I got to back the Chiefs, bro. Like, it's my pride. It's something where you have what is it, week 7? If you've had 6 games and you've got 5 losses,
I know, right?
You got nothing to lose. So I'm sitting here going,
look, a wise man once told me though, you got to bet with your head, not your heart. But this is one of those tough ones where I 100% like. I would love to do 100 burpees because the Chiefs chucked on 100 points on the Blues.
Could you imagine? Oh man!
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Imagine that. It's gonna happen. I'm sending it out into the universe. 100 burpees are coming my way via video. I love it. Okay, well, the bets are locked in. This will be for anyone who doesn't know about a weekly bet. Basically, the biggest point differential. Whoever has the most points in the loss, that other person is going to have to do burpees. So it could be one burpee that the person's doing, and it could be 50. So we'll see. It's a lot of these games have been very tight. So
yeah, which I'm so thankful it's not like Kiwi teams versus Australian teams, because the differential would be.
I'm glad it's not like a Mitre 10 Cup game where it's like you see like Southland play Canterbury or something like that. And it's 50-4, and you're sitting there going, I'm gonna love doing these burpees tomorrow. But yeah, all right, the bets are locked in. That's a wrap for episode 3. Thank you very much for joining us again, Hala.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me, TJ.
Always love having a chat.
Love that footy.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good week ahead of us, and I'll actually be at home watching these games. Do you have any plans for the weekend?
Just texting you during these games, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it'll be good. Some good FaceTime sessions and some. Although we won't be drinking, it'll be a good time watching some good rugby.
It'll be good, man. Yeah, up the Chiefs, but let's hopefully the Blues win just for my bet.
Screw the Blues. My girlfriend's a big Blues supporter, and I'm going to be screaming in her face the whole time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Marriage life.
Oh, it's good fun. All right, brother. Well, you have a safe week over in Aussie, and we'll talk soon.
Man. Stay safe out there, bro.
Will do. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for the Bonus Point podcast.